everybody just sit down just for a minute till we get boat following the dock. Once we get turned around, you're welcome to get up and walk around anywhere you want.
Yeah. Oh, Anwar. Oh, I'm getting in the camera.
What?
Anwar.
What?
Is the Naples Princess also like this? No. Oh, that's a restaurant. I'll take a cruise in Japan. Pelican. It is King of Plains.
Waving hi to all of our friends over here at the Riverwalk. Give them a big wave if you want. Hello, everybody. Good evening. Have a nice evening, everybody. We'll see you when we get back. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we're going to be doing a little boating down the Gordon River. Now, the Gordon River was named after Roger Gordon, who came to Naples in 1871. Started a little company called the Naples Improvement Company. Roger Gordon was the first person to build a pier here in Naples. He also built the first hotel. Roger Gordon also owned and operated a little hunting and fishing camp down on Keewaydin Island. Roger Gordon did a lot to put Naples on the map today. Now, one of the first things you're going to notice as we go boating down the Gordon River is this river is brown in color. A lot of people think that has to do with pollution. Well, that's really not true at all. It simply has to do with our red mangrove trees and the leaves that they drop into this water. When those leaves hit the water, they release a tannic acid, which stains their water brown in color. It'll also stain the bottoms of most boats and pretty much anybody else you drop into it. The water we're boating in right now is a brackish water. That's a combination of fresh water and salt water. Now you'll notice this water will turn a more green in color as we get closer to the Gulf of Mexico, and that's because the tannic acid cannot stain the pure salt water. Now, ladies and gentlemen, coming up here on the right-hand side of the boat, also known as the starboard side of the boat, is our Naples Boat Club. Now, the Naples Boat Club is a condominium, boatominium, and dockuminium type complex with the smallest in-water slips you see over here immediately to our right-hand side. These slips can go for as much as $600,000. All the way up to these very large slips down here on the other end, right inside of the fuel dock. And one of these slips just sold for $1.5 million. That's just the cost for a parking place for your boat. If you'd like to fill up one of those very large slips, that costs anywhere between $10 and $20 million for one of those vessels right there. And over here on the left-hand side of the boat, also known as the port side of the boat, is our Naples Sailing and Yachting Club. Naples Sailing and Yachting Club was established in 1964. They recently went through some renovations, built themselves a brand new clubhouse, and put in all new floating docks there. Now their upstairs restaurant lounge area overlooks the beautiful harbor they have here at the Naples Sailing and Yachting Club. And over here on the right-hand side, again, the starboard side, is Old Naples Seaport. Now, the Old Naples Seaport sits right in the footprint of where the original ONC Test Center used to sit, where they tested all the outboard motors that they built. It was tested right here on the right-hand side. Now the developers have come in that same footprint. They've built this multi-use complex. It is commercial and residential. The back 3 floors are all commercial properties, and you see on the other side of it, down towards the street end, is all their condominiums, and they're putting on all new floating docks here as well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the body of water that we're entering into right now, this is simply a widening of the Gordon River, but it's better known to us locals as Naples Bay. If anyone should ask you where you did your boating today, let them know you're out here on Naples Bay, and they will know exactly where you were. Now, one of the first things you're going to notice out here on Naples Bay are these red and green channel markers you see ahead of the boat. Now, these channel markers indicate our deep water navigable waterways. We're going to keep the red markers on our port side and the green markers on our starboard side as we make our way out towards the Gulf of Mexico. You'll notice the green markers are odd numbers, the red markers are even numbers. These numbers are going to get smaller as we get closer to the Gulf. Now, anytime you're boating on a body of water, it's always wise to carry a navigational chart with you. And that way, if you don't know exactly where you are, simply find one of these channel markers. For example, this red number 38 coming up here on the port side of the boat. Open up your navigational chart, find that corresponding number, and you will know exactly where you are. These charts will also indicate where there are shoal areas, sandbars, oyster beds, and any other aids to navigation, which one might need to know about while boating on that body of water. Now, you can learn more things like this if you go to that little gray building off to the starboard side across the bay. That is our United States Coast Guard Auxiliary, and they are made up of an all-volunteer organization. Their primary function in life is boater safety, boater education, and vessel inspection. And next door to the Coast Guard Auxiliary, you'll see the Boathouse Restaurant. The Boathouse Restaurant is a very unique restaurant here in Naples, and it is built up on stilts over top of Naples Bay. Behind those glass windows are 3 rows of tables, so there's never a bad seat in the house. That's a great place to go for lunch, for dinner, for cocktails. Watch the boats go by on Naples Bay. You can also get to the Boathouse Restaurant, both by land and by water. The Boathouse Restaurant. Now, behind the Boathouse Restaurant is a little place called the Cove Inn. The Cove Inn was one of Naples' original lodging facilities. It was also known as a boater's hotel. You could pull into one of their slips and then check in to a room for a day, for a week, or for a month. That is our Cove Inn. Behind the Cove Inn, you'll see the Naples City Docks. Now, the Naples City Docks is owned and operated by the City of Naples. They do have 76 in-water slips. They are open to the general public, and they cater a lot to our transient boaters. Now, a transient boater are those boaters making their way to and from the west coast of Florida. It's a great stopping-off place, replenishment of supplies. You can get all the supplies you need there at the City Docks for a day on the water, whether it be fuel, ice, bait, sodas, bottled water, sandwiches, pretty much anything you need, you can get right there at the City Docks. And tucked in behind the City Docks, you look back there, ladies and gentlemen, there's a little blue awning back there behind all those docks. That awning back there is the Dock Restaurant. The Dock Restaurant is a sister restaurant to the Riverwalk we just left in Tin City. They have the same type of menu, same flair, but a different view of Naples Bay. And then coming up here again on our starboard side of the boat, ladies and gentlemen, is the yellow building tucked in behind this long row of boat docks here. This is our most exclusive yacht club here in Naples, and this yacht club is called the Naples Yacht Club. Now, to become a member of the Naples Yacht Club, you got to fit 3 different criteria. First and foremost is you must be a homeowner, resident here in Naples. Second off, you must be recommended by 3 of its current members. And then third and final, probably the most important, is you're going to have to write those folks a $40,000 non-refundable check and then wait 3 to 5 years for a membership to become available. That is our Naples Yacht Club. And if you are so fortunate to become a member of that yacht club and you'd like to keep one of your boats in their slips, well, you got to get on another waiting list, 1 to 3 years for one of those to become available. Yep, that Naples Yacht Club. Ladies and gentlemen, coming here on the right side of the boat, this beautiful peach home you see right here on the point. Now, this home is a beautiful home, but sitting out back, what used to be sitting out back, it's not there now, but a boat sits on a lip right there at the dock. The name on that boat is called the Bone Bender. And the reason that gentleman named his boat the Bone Bender is because he is an orthopedic surgeon here in the area. It's not just any orthopedic surgeon. He is the orthopedic surgeon that invented the artificial knee. We named his boat the Bone Bender. He's obviously out for a boat ride tonight, so God bless him. Hope he's having fun. Next door to that house is a beautiful yellow house, and another boat up on the list behind that house, and the name on that boat is called the Bone Mender. Aha. Guess what? That house belongs to his son, who's also an orthopedic surgeon in the practice. So he named his boat the Bone Mender. Now, these two homes, and all these homes you see coming down the right-hand side, are all in a community called Aqualane Shores. Now, Aqualane Shores was founded and developed by the Walker family. The Walkers moved to Naples in the late 1930s, and they purchased 300 acres of marshlands and mangroves, wetlands, basically, for $30,000. Well, then the Walker family brought in some dredging equipment and started dredging canals in their new little community. Using the spoil from their dredging, they filled in their marshland to build suitable home sites. You could have purchased a home site from the Walker family back in the late 30s, early 40s for $6,000. Imagine that. Far cry different from today. People like to start getting around $1 million. Anyway, you could have bought a lot from them for $6,000. They would have put a nice little home on there for you for another $6,000.